We'd like to hear from you, sir. What was your initial reaction to the judgment, sir? I think that what we'll just do is we'll try and reach him directly on the phone. I think we're having technical issues with the Zooms. Yeah. But while we're waiting to have his own official reaction, what do you think? Because right now we're trying to draw what we empathize with him for such a terrible loss, and we're trying to think about it as parents, grandparents, as a nation. How do we ensure this doesn't happen again? What are the things, what are the lessons that we have learned that can help us to rise above these things from happening?
I think one of the first things is to regulate these hospitals. That's, you know, they are not regulated. Any Tom, Dick and Harry will just stand up, I want to open a hospital. And then there are no checks and balances. Nobody is coming to check that this is
certified or
when you go to hospital, everybody is typhoid and malaria. They don't bother. Look, I took my grandson. He wounded his leg when they were here, and I took him to this hospital. When I even saw the hospital, I wondered what I was doing there in the first place. Then the doctor was now on the phone. The only hospital only has one doctor, the owner.
Wow.
So it was the nurse and whether I don't know.
Auxiliary nurses and support attendants.
And my grandson was screaming, and then he was asking, why are they doing this to me? 5-year-old child was asking, why are they doing this? I said, excuse me, it's all right.
Leave him.
Leave him. We took him away. They could have even gone to go and cause, because the way they were treating the wound, it was terrible.
Ew, no empathy.
And not even like, it wasn't like hygienic, right? Because I think that's what you were saying. A non-hygienic format.
Look, I have to be mad for anybody to take me to that hospital again. I will never.
So the low-end hospitals, we could...
Even high-end. You'll be shocked. Shebi, I went to one recently, and it was my daughter that I brought there, my little girl. And, you know, the way the doctor was attending to us, no eye contact with the child. He was quite scary, and he was looking so unkempt. I knew something was wrong with this doctor. I wasn't comfortable. So by the time I came back the second time to meet the doctor, I told the attendants, I said, please, can I have another doctor? Because I really do not want to take my child into that place. She was scared. And I was sitting down there. He didn't look at my face. He didn't look at the child. You know, the care was just not there at all. And then the attendant was like, there's something definitely going on, because this is not the first person complaining. They had to find me another doctor. So I think across board, you have a call.
Samuel has called in from Jos. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, my sister. You see, this is a pathetic story, my dear. It is very sad that you lose your precious son or a daughter to negligence. I want to believe that this negligence came from the side. One person shouldn't be blamed, in as much as we heap the blame on the school, we also heap the blame on the parents as well. Because this is just a collective negligence, so to speak. But like one of you rightly said, what should be paramount in our mind now is how to mitigate against this devilish and sad story. Because if you don't nip it in the bud, you might see yourself in the coming days or months or even in years. It's occurring again. So we should task the school authorities. If you are establishing a school, there should be medical facility, equipped medical facility. You don't just bring people's children and when it is headache or whatever or running stomach, you send them back. If I send my child or my daughter, my grandchildren under your custody, please, whatever happens, you should take adequate responsibility, because I am paying for his upkeep. I don't just go in here because as they are giving us a certificate when I was in school, they are both in character in learning. I am bringing the child for you to a proper upkeep, not just for school purposes. Please, parents and the school authorities, we should take this into consideration so that we don't have a repeat of this ugly situation. Thank you, and God make you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel, for calling. You were saying something.
We just need to be holistic in our approach, which is to pay.
Sorry, it's back on the phone. Okay, so I wanted to get your initial reaction. We had technical issues, but what is your reaction to the judgment? Do you agree? Do you disagree? How do you think it could have been done better?
About 10 pathologists representing various parties, the Lagos State government and Dowen College took parties. They all agreed that death was caused by septicemia, a life-threatening health condition.
I don't think that... Are you listening to the TV or you are listening to us? We would like to really hear your opinion, but while we're waiting to be sure that you are listening to us and you're the one talking to us right now, BC was saying something about hospitals
Yes, I think we all need to, have a holistic approach to these things. Everybody in this case is to blame, whatever the coroner has said, because something definitely led to something. And with the schools, like the last caller said, it's their responsibility to take care of the children that are in their care. But to some extent, because it is not it's not a hospital, it's a school. So if they do the first care, which is either to take the child, I don't know how some of these schools run, but I know that the school where my children
are back with him again, so I want to be sure. I'm sorry we keep interrupting you, BC.
It's okay.
It's just that we need to get his opinion. Hello, sir, can you hear us now? I'm not sure that we are on the right line. Can you hear us now? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I was saying the child must be taken to the hospital for the first care, and the parents must be called immediately to come and take over that care, except for where maybe the parents are not in the country. But they must have a guardian, yes. They must have a guardian that when you're filling the forms in school, they say there's an emergency contact that they can call that, okay, the child is in the hospital, we're running this test to ascertain exactly what has gone wrong, but you need to come. And from the point that you pick that child, the child is your child. The child becomes your responsibility. You must do all that you can to make sure that your child is okay before releasing that child back to the school. There are children I've heard, even while I was a classroom teacher, that we have to send them home because you tell the parent to come and pick them from the clinic. They go the next day, they bundle them and sneak them into school because they are working, they are doing business, nobody's there to pay attention. So we now have to call, you are going back. You are not properly okay. So that at least if it's something that is infectious, you don't infect the other children. So we nobody feel born your pikin pass as you take born am. The help that you give to me, now help you give me. But once I'm there, I am in charge because he's my child. Exactly. And anything goes wrong, I'm the one that will bear the brunt. I'm the one that will cry the cry. It's not the school, it's not the teacher. So that responsibility. Then also insisting that even as parents, when you take your children to the hospital, you must pay attention to the care that the caregivers are given.
Yes,
you must be informed.
You
must be informed.
Exactly.
You must insist. I fight very well in the hospital. You must insist on the tests that you want to conduct because you never can tell. You don't leave them is it what the doctor has said and then you go back home. We all are responsible for this.
Let's take this call from Chuma. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Unado. My sister will just finish up now. Me, I support you, Neo. You see the thing we say is that they see headache, I go hospital. Doctor, now headache go treat me. No insist on another test because as you are doing that one, you don't want to make us spend more money. If I carry bleeding wound come, I bet treat me on that window. No run me to so much test. Because sometimes what they do and be said they won't collect more money from the parents and the children involved.
That's not true.
So I beg. Man, I know they collect money unjustly. Thank you, I beg.
Mr. Chuma, this is also part of the problem. The assumption that when a doctor says, let's do further investigation, we assume that it's because the hospital wants to make some money. While in actual fact, further investigation might reveal more information.
That's actually where I'm going to. As painful as the death is, and
just be in 1 minute.
As Tokwe said, that we're all parents. I think that parents too, at some point, should be very truthful with themselves. Yeah. There are a lot of times we fill forms and they are asking you what are the medical probably deficits, or what are the medical challenges, medical conditions that your children have. And you're just there, no, and you know that there is a yes, yes, yes. Because these things, if you fill these forms, I'm sure it will help them to better prepare and to know, so that when your child is complaining of incessant headache or cold, they can already go back to the form field and say, okay, the child has a form of allergy, instead of now administering something that will trigger the allergy. So sometimes I would enjoin parents that let us be truthful. Let us be very truthful in how we deal in the care of our children.
Very important.
I need to ask you this question, because when you're saying no, maybe you don't even
know. Or maybe you don't understand.
In rounding off, BC mentioned a few things that are very important. Parents need to be aware, because if you don't know as a parent, if you are not observant as a parent, your child might not be getting quality care, and you are not able to help because you don't know, even in the hospital. So being informed is extremely important. We all agree that responsibility, if you have a child, your child is your core responsibility. The school might be helping, but you must be on ground. If they call in school, come and pick up your child, you are not saying, I'm at work, I have business meeting. You rush there and pick up that child. If your children are taking drugs, you don't send them to school when you know that they should still be resting and recuperating at home. Because we are all busy as parents nowadays, sometimes we are pushing the bulk and pushing the responsibility to somebody else. We must be on ground.
Just reminds me, my brother's daughter, she just had a major operation on her leg, you know, and she wants to go to school.
Well, you had to shut down. We need to pay attention to our children. We pray that our heart goes out once again to the family of Oromini, and we're praying that God will give them fortitude to bear their loss. No parent ever wants to hear this kind of thing. And as it is today, we just pray that we will never be the recipients of this. That's what we can take on this particular segment of the show. When we return, we'll come back for our Let's Talk. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
For not providing the needed duty of care.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.